Hello. Oh my God. If you have made it here, first off, I want to say congratulations. My heart is like opening in so many ways that you are choosing to say yes to become an embodiment of the divine masculine on this planet Earth we're living on. And it could almost make me tear, like how proud of you I am, how deeply I see you, how deeply I honor the hurt and the pain that you've gone through with the feminine, with women, or if you're gay, with like the feminine. But I just want to say I honor you. I want to say on behalf of all women how deeply sorry I am for how confusing this world has made it for you to navigate and provide and to find love and to be love and to want to be a support, to want to understand, to want to be a good man and do the right thing. And in many ways, the world has burned you. The world has let you down. Women have betrayed you. They have misled you. They have lied. And you have not, and many times, felt safe and okay to be who you are, which may have leaked out in ways of anger and in ways of rage. It may have caused you to do things that you're not proud of, that you're ashamed of. And I'm so sorry that the world did not offer you a space to understand how to use your energy, how to maneuver it, how to release your anger and frustration. And here you are saying yes to this journey. Here you are saying yes to the masculine. I am a fucking man. I am here to do manly things. I am here to lead. I am here to have any woman I desire, ethically, honorably. I'm here to do the thing. I'm here to provide the structure, to be real, to be raw, and to release any anger, guilt, shame, past things that I've done that I didn't know where to use my energy correctly. I'm here. I'm ready to receive the woman. I'm ready to let go of the anger. I am ready. I honor you so deeply as men for humbling yourself to become the student of these sacred teachings. I honor deeply, and I see the anger and pain that you've went through to get to this point. There is nothing I can say that will make the past better. There's no amount of empathy I can provide for the things that you carry shame on, for what anger leaked out onto the feminine, or accidentally sexual issues that arose that caused horrifying trauma on behalf of the man because the woman was unaware what she was saying or doing. But you're here. You've arrived. You're safe. Now, I want to share with you why this work is so important to me, like why I so deeply believe in being here with you. Is because I actually am mostly been a man in past lifetimes. So to be honest with you all, it's pretty vulnerable. I think like a man, predominantly. I've had to very much in my lifetime had to remember how to become a woman. I've had to remember how to soften, how to be open. much like the masculine. It was not my truth to think in feelings. It was my truth to get shit done, get it done as quickly as you can, get the result, get out, save your money for retirement, travel the world, do the things, that's it. Like, there was no feeling, there was no sensation, there was no slow down and enjoy. That wasn't me. And it's something I continuously have to return to. And so I want you to know, more than you may think, I relate to you. And I really deeply understand what the female dressed up in a female body has done. I get it. And the fact that you're here shows your commitment to, yes, I'm finding the woman. Yes, I'm finding the thing. And why this became a passion of mine is because when I had cancer at age 14, I actually saw a dad yell at his wife, or a husband yell at his wife because her child had cancer. And what he said is, he said, the only reason we cannot pay for our daughter's treatment is because you're a stay-at-home mom. Now that like forever changed me. That forever did something in my body of, I will never depend on a man for money. That was one. I will never in my life be in any situation where I myself can't pay for my daughter's treatment, or a son, or whatever. Like, that was so horrifying. And the second thing that it really taught me is that how quickly money can ruin love. And how love, if it's not built on sacredness, on a strong foundation, can shatter very easily. And so this work is the work of my lifetime. I believe that incident, me seeing that in my life, is why I've gotten to where I am in my life at such a young age. I believe seeing that made me really start to understand the importance of love, because there were kids I saw making it through cancer like myself, kids that were dying and people that were dying. And it always had a common denominator of those that weren't dying had this greater existence in life, this greater expression. It was like almost like they were unattached to life, but so deeply believed in life. They were so fulfilled, yet so afraid. Like, it was this constant duality that I learned of these people that consistently beat cancer, made it through the odds. They had just this unshakable devotion and commitment to love, to something greater. Like, there was no fighting with family. There was no fighting with the spouse. It didn't matter what amount of money there was. Like, there was just never fighting. And some of them, not all of them, made it. You know, sometimes biology won, but it was with so much more grace. It was with so much more, it's just time and celebration. And it wasn't an anger of, we can't pay for our daughter's treatment because you're a stay-at-home mom. And that like shook me to my core in the masculine, because as men, he didn't just say that because of that. There was a lot more going on in the marriage, right? He felt like he probably got into a marriage because he didn't want to be alone. He didn't really love the woman, because if you wouldn't say that to a woman you really love, he probably should have married. And there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home wife or mom. I think it's absolutely fabulous. Yet he probably, from that statement, wanted someone who was a little bit more career driven than mom driven. And neither one is bad or good. It just is. He wanted obviously more money, and he couldn't do it as a solo income person. And this would have been before their child had cancer. But now that this problem of cancer through their child, which obviously is another problem in their marriage, that's manifesting through their child, this came up to the surface, this thing with money, this thing with power. And so that really changed a lot of my life because I thought you needed money to have love and money to not die. And I went on a really deep journey from 14 years old to about 23 years old. Really deep journey, like chasing men and doing the things and playing all the games. Like I remember I would have like 5 boyfriends and be like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who am I hanging out with? Like it was ridiculous. Like literally, it was wild. And all the men knew it, which was even crazier. Like all these men knew I was like playing the field. All these men knew it was like I was not going to commit to them, but like they always would be there to hang out. Like if I was like, hey, let's do this, a man would be there. Like it was like my girlfriends had no idea. I don't even know how I did it, to be honest. Like it was crazy. Like I was an absolute crazy, like funny, driven, like you're going to be there when I need you on a need basis. But it was like, I was so honest about it. So it's like, you knew what you were in. It wasn't really abusive in any way, but that's not how it normally is. It was just wild. And I became in this way. And it also, I probably did hurt some people because of that. Obviously I didn't really, the quality of men that I was, attracting wasn't like this high quality. I kind of was stuck at this like middle, lower quality. And so I finally broke through and I made a commitment to a guy. I was so excited. I graduated college. It was like the best thing ever. And in this commitment I made to him, it ended up horrifying. His friends were like, kind of playboys. And it ended up one night we were out and his friend came up to me and said, you're the ugliest girl this guy has dated. And he like kind of sexually grabbed my hair. And my partner at the time saw it and he basically said nothing. Like he did say nothing. And then I was like, aren't you going to do anything? He's like, what do you want me to do about it? Like it was horrifying. So basically now it proved to me like, I was making more money. I just got promoted too. And now I'm making more money and love wasn't working. So like all my theories on love, back to this core fundamental that if I make the money, if I do the thing, if whatever, like I'll always have men, like men will always want me because I have the money, I have the career, I have the lifestyle, I'm traveling, I'm, non-committal, like they'll always chase me, they'll always want me. Like that was literally very manly, really how I thought about it. And then I committed and then this like horrifying experience happened where I wasn't protected. And that's something, I do feel even if you're gay or transgender, there is something about feminine, female, like whatever one, like we like to be protected. I don't care whatever you are, like whatever, if you represent the feminine, you like to be protected. You need to be protected. The masculine, that's a very big role that cannot be transferred. It will always be a role of the masculine. There's nothing to evolve from it. Like you will always be a protector. That will be a role for you forever. That's never going to change. And then I moved to New Zealand and I had these like awakening experiences of understanding love. And it wasn't like self-love, how it's talked about. It was understanding sacred love, the teachings of sacredness, the teachings of true connecting. And that's why we're here, because I know part of my purpose is to support men like you to become the man, not even just really for the woman, even though it's how this is marketed, but the man for you. Learn how to become the man you are jealous of, the one that you're like, oh, if I was just him, my life would be so easy. Whatever it is, like that's the man we're aligning you to. And we're going to go through these feminine wounds, these things that women have done, so you can truly become embodied in the divine masculine. So with that, I hope that offers you perspective on why I'm doing this and how proud I am of you being here. And we are going to jump in. So, okay. The first thing that you have to do when we go into this of like becoming the guy, really getting the relationship, is you've got to acknowledge the heartbreak and past pain patterns you've lived through. A lot of time as men, what you guys do, we call it bypassing, but you like to pretend that there like isn't this heartbreak of shit that happened, like that females haven't abused you. Like fundamentally from when you were a little boy at school and we're teaching sexual ed, you've been misled. Like from the very beginning, like, don't have sex till here, don't do this. Like you fundamentally have something biologically that penetrates, that is turned on. So saying don't do something, it's like telling your body, like I have a body part that's physically moving, it's physically getting hard and I can't do anything about it. What? Like that doesn't make sense. You're trying to tell me that I don't have something that's a real thing, or don't do something that is literally like it's just gonna happen. Like I don't understand, like you've got to acknowledge something. It's kind of like a little bit, I mean, it's different because when women have our period or our moon cycle, like it's not, this hard thing that's penetrating, or like you look at someone, you're like, whoa, what's going on? Like it's different. And you can't just say from the very beginning of time, like, don't do that. Don't acknowledge it. Like, hello, there's something there. Like, you've got to be okay that from a very young age, you were told to like suppress real things that were happening like in your body. Like you've got to be honest about it, and it's okay. And you don't have to be ashamed that sometimes a woman walks by or something happens and you get attracted. There's like a sensation in your body moving you forward. Like that's okay. That's fundamentally, you're safe to have that happen. That's allowed. Now, obviously taking the action is different, but I want to just, first of all, just acknowledge that what's happening in your body is okay. Like fundamentally okay. So that's the first part I really want to go into, is like, we just have to acknowledge that, because that from a very young age, like traumatizes men of like, I can't acknowledge it. I can't do this. Oh my God, I don't want to do anything. Like you have something in your body telling you something otherwise. So just, it's okay. That's where I'm going to start with there. But I want to go into really from there, like what are the biggest feminine and female wounds for you guys, for the masculine, since the beginning of time? Like what are the things that have happened to you that are like, I fucking hate women. Like women always do this. This is fucking shitty. Like, why do women do this? I don't understand. Like, I want to go through those with you. Because I feel like it's really important to acknowledge, because we've kind of had like this whole, oops, hold on, I'm just putting my leg up. We've had this whole like Me Too movement, and I don't even really believe in it, but we've had all these, women rise, women were suppressed. Like, I don't know, all these things we've had, and you men, it's kind of like giving you, I don't know, like, okay, I even if she lies, I don't want to like tell her that she's lying, or I don't want to, like, you're just confused. I don't want to say the wrong thing, and then maybe she's going to hurt herself because there's something from the past. Like it's all very confusing. Like you're just like, okay, now I don't want to say anything, because if I say something, it's, and so you just shut down and you get further and further inside yourself, which is the opposite of what a woman wants, because a woman wants you to lead her. A woman wants to be led. And if you're further and further and further inside yourself because you don't want to say the wrong thing, you're not going to be able to lead her. And so I just want to acknowledge some of these things. If these are real things that have happened to you, and these are things that are not okay. These are things that I feel like have been suppressed massively in your guys' field. So the first one is lying. So the biggest female feminine wound for the masculine is that women lie. Like all women lie. She's not telling the truth. And it's been crazy. Like she's lying about what she had for breakfast, or she's lying about, just like, I swear I saw that message, but then you think you didn't, like, just lying. Like she says she's going with her friends, but she's here. She says she's going to be here at, like, it's just like all these stories, but there's lies, there's lying that's happening. And you guys, like, you see it and you want to be like, you fundamentally are lying. And she in her head has made it a story that she's not lying. Like she's very confused with realities, because as women, you know, probably for our father, I don't know, probably father or mother, it can be dependent, but we maybe couldn't be accepted for the truth of who we were. So we've been taught that we have to lie about who we are to still be accepted. So many times the lying has just become part of us. So we don't even realize we're lying. And that can be very frustrating to men because men, you're very linear thinking. Like if you say this sky is blue, the sky is blue. If you say you're going to be here for dinner, you know, but you really meant that, or this is who you're going with, but your ex-boyfriend was going to, like all these things, like what the fuck? And sometimes women don't even realize they're lying because they've had to put so many layers in the truth of them to be accepted. So they don't know any different. It's almost like if you're trying to teach a child to like sing the ABCs, you know, and they're like A, D, A, I don't like, you know, going out, like, they don't know that they're not doing it in order. You know, they're trying to do it in order. They're trying to tell you A, B, C, D, E, but they're going A, D, F, G, like literally you have to imagine a woman that lie. That's like what it is. It's like this little toddler girl that's trying to sing the ABCs, but for so long she was just taught the ABCs wrong. So now she like knows the ABCs wrong. And that's how she always says it. It's kind of like if you have like a lisp and you don't realize it. So you're always saying like spaghetti or like, you know, something that's not quite right, but the person doesn't realize. Like mine is, I say resignate. I mess those words up. So like resignating versus resonate. I don't know, whatever. I don't even, it's not that I'm saying the word wrong, but that could technically be a lie. Like, are you saying the right word? It's not that I'm not saying the right word. In my head, I don't know any difference. I was taught for such a young age, the difference in the E's. I didn't pick that up. So anyway, women sometimes lie, and that can be frustrating because as men, you're like, what? This is how it is. And she has no idea she's lying. She literally does not cognitively understand that she's singing the ABCs wrong. So I want to honor you that when this happens, there's some anger that arises on your side, rightfully so. But yelling at the woman is not going to help. Pointing out the lie is not going to help. So what you've kind of got to do in this situation is you've got to realize, like, hey, am I consistently attracting women that are lying? And we'll leave it there because we'll go into a little bit deeper later. The second one is cheating. This is like pretty horrific. I've heard for, you know, and I feel like in this new age we're living in, a lot of women are cheating on men with women. Like it's a whole thing. So women cheat because they don't feel seen, which goes back to the line. So a lot of times women are cheating on you, or they've cheated on you because they don't feel seen by you. And this could be because you're overworked, you're not being present. Could just be because they don't know how to feel seen. They don't know how to ask for you to see them. Men cheat primarily because they feel seen. So men are cheating because they feel seen. Women are cheating because they don't feel seen. And cultivating this, understanding this is going to be really important, that you didn't do anything wrong. Even if she cheated on you, it's not that you didn't sexually satisfy her. That has nothing to do with it. Actually, the only reason a woman cheats is because she didn't feel seen. Has nothing to do with your performance in the bedroom. Literally only has to do with being seen. The next one, money. This is like a class act grade. A woman will come in, use you for money. They don't have money. They have all these issues, blah, 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 blah. And they want you to support them. They want you to buy them things. Like, and I do believe, I want to say that I do think the world we're going into, and we'll talk about it, it's very important. I think that men always still buy dinner. You know, even if you're we'll get to agreements, but I really, really, really believe that even if you're married, I think personally that the man should always pay. I don't know how you guys work that out. If she does, you know, a little bit extra in rent, or I don't know, other things, but I think there's something so sexy, and we'll get into about the feminine, she likes to be taken out to dinner. She likes to be sought after. She likes to be dined. There's something important about that. But the fact of like actual money for bills or things like that, like it's inappropriate. Money to like buy things, like, unless you're in a committed relationship, from a random girl you just meet or start dating, if you notice she starts asking for money, or she's very like always expecting with money, it's time to let her go. it's time to get her out. Like, let her go, like move it. It's just not worth it. But it's a big wound for you guys. And I want you to know, like, I deeply see you, and women are rising, really where women are now. The women that are like me, the women that are in my field will never ask you for money. Like, the true woman you want to align to, there's tons of them. We would never ask you for money because we are already self-sufficient, self-sustaining on our own. But that's why when you take us out to dinner, like when you constantly pay, it gets your desires fed in the bedroom. It really does. And it's not just the bedroom, like sexually, like the teasing and this, like it gets you in that way. So I think we'll get into that. That's like just an important part, I feel. So yeah. The other thing that women do that's really been hard for you guys, these are things you guys have to acknowledge. Like, these things have happened to you, like the line, the genie, the money, these have happened, and it's okay. There's nothing to be ashamed about as a man. There's nothing to feel like, there's just nothing to feel bad about. Like, it's happened to all of you guys. These are big wounds. The other thing is withholding sex or saying mean sexual things. So a lot of women, if they're mad, they'll like withhold sex. They'll play the game of like, I'll only give you sex if you do this. If you do this, I'll give you sex. I'll be sexy. Only if you do this though. And women like do this game. And it's really frustrating because you guys are like, okay, like your body's going, but your mind is like, something's not right here. And it takes a moment because now remember back to the very beginning, something in your body is like pointing to go do something or wanting something, but your mind is like, this is weird. Like, what's happening? Like, you have this conflicting thing inside your own body. It's probably a lot like when a woman finds out she's pregnant, to be honest, like that she knows there's something inside of her body and she might feel something. It's probably like as if you guys have something like pointing at someone, but you're thinking something's just not right here. Like, it's a little bit confusing. And if other thing is that if a woman really wants something, you're not giving it to her, she'll try and manipulate you by saying mean sexual things, like trying to degrade you sexually, and I just want you to know, each of you are here, I think every man, no man is perfect. There's not a perfect sex 101 class. Like, I want to be honest with that. It's just not there. So all men have done things, that they're probably not proud of, or like, things that you finished too early, or there wasn't clear communication. Like, she freaked out, I like was drunk and freaked out. Like, you've all had some things, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think every girl has probably done something she's not the most proud of either. So I think just take the shame, take the guilt. It's not like the man who has the six pack and is macho has it all right all the time. Like that's not the thing. Every man has had a problem. There's been a fuck up in every man's sexual experience. So it's okay. And a woman who can say really mean things instead of come at it with a very like opening heart and conversation, there's something to be said for that. As a woman speaking, I've had men, who didn't, they finished too quickly, or they just mean, I just go, oh, like, like, can we do something? Like, I'm kinder about it, or if you do say, if there is something sexual wrong, like, it's not like she's just being off the wall. I mean, like, something did happen, like you finished too early or, really fast or something, always admit like, hey, that was a little quick. What can I do to please you? Or if she's like wanting something more rough or this, like, okay, is that what you want? Like, I don't know. You guys know how to do it, but you've got to just have like some open dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the thing is, don't be afraid if there's something you do that you feel insecure about, or you're not sure if it's hurting her, or she likes it, or you do finish too quickly or whatever, say it right then, like communicate right then and like say the thing right when it's there. The next thing is like teasing. Women will do this a lot. They'll like tease you like, oh, if you come here, I'll do this, but don't do that. And like, they'll do this push-pull game. It's fucked. Just don't. If a woman's kind of alluring you in and she's not being very clear in her communication, you don't have time for that. That kind of goes with leading on as well. There's a lot of women who, like they'll be like, oh, I want attention, but just text me and give me attention. Then like, they don't want to hang out with you, or they'll be like randomly like, text me good morning, text me this. And then when you're like going to hang out, they're not available. Or a woman will like send you photos and want attention. And you'd be like, oh, I'm so interested in you. And then like, won't say anything. Like, no like tangible plan, or like they'll call you drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like that, any girl that if they're like wanting to hang out with you, they will, I mean, call you drunk, but don't hang out with them when they're drunk. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have an established relationship, because that's the whole teasing, the leading on, the, well, I was drunk and I wanted to call you and I'm thinking about you. Like, you know, no, we want women that are above this point. So, just don't tolerate it. But I want to acknowledge you've been through it. You've been in that. The other one is the attention seeking. So like I said, like they'll message you and be like, text me good morning, text me the thing. Why haven't you texted me? What are you doing? Da, da, da. Like, and then when you want to go make the plans or do the thing, they're like seemingly always unavailable, or they cancel the plans. Like that's just attention seeking. They just want you around for their attention when they want, but they're not serious about you. The other one is like they're non-committing and they're jealous. Oh, God, every man has been through this. Like the woman won't commit to you. She likes you, she's interested, but you know, she's dating other people, like not fully committing to you, going out with her girlfriends. But at the same time, if you are like with like out with your guy friends, like she wants you to basically like sit at home while she's out and then she can just come back to you. That's like what she thinks she wants. So she won't commit to you, but at the same time, you're not allowed to do anything. And it's this whole, and then when that all happens, that's when the whole sex withholding sex happens. Well, if you don't stay home, then I'm not gonna have sex with you. Well, if you don't do this, I'm not gonna, like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like it's, and you're like, and then your penis is kind of like hard, but you're like, oh, this is like, what's going on? So, that's another big one. Another huge one, you guys, I feel so bad for some of you on here, because a lot of you who are here are like such good people. The emotional dumping. The woman who comes and just emotionally unloads on you. I mean, unloads. Like, it's always something, whether it's work, it's girlfriend, it's this, but like constantly just emotionally unloading and unloading and unloading and unloading. Yeah. And then there's nothing else with the relationship. It's like draining. Like you feel like you're always like in a tier of waterfalls, that there's always something to be processed, or there's always like, oh my God, it's just exhausting. Like you feel like you are like, I just don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm listening to you, but then there's no sex. And not that I'm listening to you to get sex, but like there's just no polarity. I feel like I'm a friend, but I'm not really a friend. So what do I do? Been through it. So before I go on, I just want to acknowledge like each of these are things that you guys have all been through. These are things that are not, you're not alone in this. Like, I don't want you to think that no other man, even the macho man, like I've dated very successful men. I've dated men who are just starting careers. I've dated men that are like creatives. I dated men who are off the grid, like off, like don't even function in society. I have dated every single type of man you can imagine, like pro athlete, like literally every man, every single one of them have experienced these. Every single one of them have said to me, Colleen, I've done sexual things that I'm not proud of, you know, and where I wasn't focused on pleasing her, or, you know, I messed up, you know, I've been cheated on, I've lied, I've been used for money. A woman, you know, I've had men tell me, like literally women have been like, if we date, I've got to go here, here, here. Like it's literally all these things. So, you know, I just want you to know you're not alone as a man. Like no matter what, where you're at, you know, every single man has dealt with every single one of these. So you're not alone. And I don't want you to think just because there's a macho man or the guy with the six pack or the guy with the money, like his life is so much better. Like it's not, you know, many times the man who's truest to himself is the man who has it all. I'm going to get into that, but I just want you to know like that it may seem like the man who has the most money has it all. And sometimes the man who has the most money does have it all. Like it really is true, but that's not always the case. Like I know a lot of men with money who aren't living their desire. They created a life, unfortunately, that's not, you know, true to them. And so that's not always true. And also the man who doesn't have a lot of money doesn't mean that he's the happiest either. So I do want to just honor that this has happened across the board to each of you. Like you're not alone and there's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about because it's happened to everyone. So the next one I want to go into is begin to learn how to alchemize these past experiences to release the subconscious anger towards all women. Because when you look at all these things, like before we get into it, I'm gonna have some water. when you look at all these things, it's a lot. You guys, I mean, men have gone through a lot on this planet. Like you guys, like you were supposed to be like providers, you provide the money, you go out and hunt, like you have this thing that comes out of you down there that goes in someone, like, you know, you're supposed to provide these things like pleasure and this, and there's no real, like, you know, what do you do when a woman's like lying, but I don't want to call her out because of her past trauma? Like, then she's emotionally dumping, but I kind of am just thinking I want to have sex with her. Like, it's confusing, and you're not taught like your I mean, your biology. I mean, women, we have a little bit of, I mean, very different setup. Like you guys, it's very much like go, like do the thing. Like it's very different than women, like collectively need time and we need space, and it's just very different. It's very different. So I just want to honor, like, you know, this going through these things in a life would cause some anger, would cause some frustration, would cause some tension, would cause some like, what in the actual heck is going on? So what I want to go through here, get a pen and paper, is I'd like you to write down what's the story of the last 3 women. So the last 3 women that you've dated, what's their story? What's the pattern? Would they lie? Did they cheat? Was it money? Was it sex? Was it teasing, leading on, attention seeking, non-committed, jealousy, emotional dumping? What was the thing? Well, the last 3 women you've dated, the last 3 situations you've had, what were these things? And write them down. And usually what you're going to see when you write them down or think about them is you're going to see a pattern. So for me personally, I always was choosing unavailable men, which was leading to lying. Those are the big 2, probably. Yeah. Non-committing. They don't really, well, they did have jealousy, but non-committing and lying. Those are definitely mine. And the protector wasn't what they didn't protect. They weren't there. That was a big one. So what are those ones? What's the last 3? And then what I want you to acknowledge is that you're going to have a lot of anger on them. That's going to be a big trigger for you. So if you're out with someone and you see them lie, or you see them cheat, or you see them lead you on, or you see them be like, oh, I'm so sexual. If you see that, you're going to feel very triggered and you're easily going to be angered. So maybe a woman on a date, like what I said to you, and for whatever reason, this is actually an example of mine when this guy was like, oh, he was a manager of mine, actually. He's like, oh, let's go to raw sushi. And I was thinking, oh, like, I don't like raw fish, but that wasn't accurate. I did like raw fish. And I had no idea why I said it, because I love sushi. But I think I said it because of something we were talking about earlier, and I wanted to seem like I fit in, or I knew what he was talking about. But it like came off wrong. Like it was just weird. Like I didn't even know I was lying. I was just doing it because I wanted to be accepted and inclusive. And then he was like, I thought you said you didn't like raw fish. And I was like, oh, I think I misunderstood the question. Like, I really think I did. Like, I was literally confused in my own head. And I don't really know why, but if you are a man who's experienced a woman lying a lot, that would be hella confusing to you. You'd be like, wait, she just said she didn't like raw fish and now she's having sushi that's raw. Like that would be confusing to you. You're like, what's going on? So you might get angry, like, lady, like, you know, and you've got to realize this is the hard part with men. You've got to realize whatever this pattern is that you have with it, sex, the lying, the leading on, the whatever, it's going to make you angry easily if you see a woman do it, because it's bringing up for you past things that you have not yet healed. It's bringing up past things for you that you have not yet acknowledged, looked at, experienced. And so you're going to easily get annoyed at that woman. You're going to be short with that woman. You're going to like not have patience really. Which would be really challenging for a man, because you're kind of like, you're used to like, this is the thing, we do the thing, da, da, da. And if a woman's needing like more space, like more attention than just like, like basically like jolting it in, as a man, you're not taught what to do with that jolt of energy. Like, how do you transition that jolt into something else? So, so yeah, I want to acknowledge you for that. And I want you to understand that anger from these past experiences that have built up over time, you're going to have a shorter and shorter bandwidth with women, very short. So if a woman does something like that, you're going to be like, I don't want to see you again. I don't want to do that again. Like, you're going to just, it's going to be short. It's going to be like, not interested. You could come across a little angry, you know, like, and it's confusing. Like, if a woman, like, she's back at your place and you are thinking she came back to my place, like, I want to make sure I perform or like have sex with her. But then in her mind, she never intended to have sex. She was just like, oh, we're just going to hang out. It's confusing for a guy because you don't want to like pressure her, but you don't also at the same time want to like not think you're not attracted to her. It's just such a confusing line you guys play in. And if you have lived in a life, most of your life, where women come back and they kind of like tease you, you're going to be fucking irritated. Like, why are you in my house if that's not what you planned? So you've really got to be aware, man, your past stories. What is the past story? What's your past patterning with women? What's that thing? And this all traces back to the relationship you have with your mother. And I know that's like so crazy to hear because men are like, what are you talking about? But it really does. The woman that you're attracting, if she's lying, if she's this, it has exactly to do with your mother. And so when you were younger, did you feel the need to protect your mother? Like, you had to always protect her? Like, you know, you just felt very like protective or like honoring of her? Did you feel like you had to provide for her? Do you feel like you had to be afraid of her? Like, you want to think of these things of what did you feel like you're like, because if you felt like you had to protect her, you're going to naturally probably attract women who are more likely to lie, be non-committal, like kind of have a crazy background. Like, you're going to like feel that because you feel like it's your job to protect. So you're going to attract women who don't feel safe in themselves. And so that's going to be your pattern over and over and over. And so I'm going to get into like how you do that. And the other part is if you feel like you need to provide it for your mom, like she didn't really, you know, the marriage wasn't good, the relation wasn't good, or like she was a single mom, you know, you felt like as a man, as a young boy, you had to like provide. So you're going to naturally attract women, right, that are a little bit more superficial, that expect you to provide for them, expect you to do this, and like don't really expect a lot in return because you had to give your mom that because she didn't know how to give it to herself. Like, and it's nothing bad against your mom, but that's the woman you're going to start attracting, is the woman who expects from you. Not that your mom expected it, but she just didn't know any different. The other one is if you expected, and also that means like that, the provide is the big one for sexual trauma. If you felt like you needed to provide for your mom, you're going to attract women who play sexual games with you, really messed up sexual games with you, because they feel like they are entitled for you to provide that for them on their terms. Like, it's very crazy. The next thing is like, be afraid. Did you feel like you needed to be afraid of your mom? Like, did you feel like, she was scary or you didn't know what was going on? Like, if that's the case, you're going to attract really high intense women who abuse you. It really is. It's just going to be women that like, that's when they say the mean things, they do the mean things, they cheat on you. That's that one. So you've got to look at these things with your mom, like the protect, provide, afraid. And what one of those did you have to do with your mom? And then how do you transition that? And we'll talk about that, but that's the part of alchemizing these experiences. Because through all these, as we kind of talk about what's the last three, what is your mother? This provides anger. This provides a really short fuse. And there's a lot of men, you know, that I know personally that, you know, had to do a lot of work on anger. And there's a lot of men I personally dated that they had anger issues, not towards me ever, but they were aware they had anger issues. So they had outlets for that anger. You know, I think men aren't given enough credit for how much anger passes through you guys. And it's not even, you know, just because of family or this, but I think there's pressure. I think there's, you know, I think men are sensitive, and I think you feel suffering of the planet, and that anger comes up and you don't know what to do with it. It's because men aren't taught to be soft or emotional or sensitive, but the reality is you are very sensitive to what's happening to people. And that causes anger, and men are not taught ever healthily how to let go their anger. And this is what causes, rape and abuse and, men raising their voices or whatever. And this at the same time needs to be acknowledged. So you've got to learn from these past experiences, you're carrying some anger, and that anger is totally justified. It's totally right. But we've got to find a good avenue for you to put that anger, because it's not into the woman. And we'll get into that a little bit, but that's why I want to just acknowledge, it's really important as men to find a men's group, to find an outlet, to know that you do have anger. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay though to be angry at it's okay to be angry at a woman, but not okay to yell or to, do harmful things. That will never be okay. I'm not saying any of the things I just labeled that women do are okay, but we're here to focus on you and what you can do. And this anger within men that's underlying in every man. I don't care if you're the most successful businessman in the world, like Jeff Bezos to a homeless person, there is a part of them that's learned how to control their anger, how to maneuver their anger. I think Jeff Bezos was with producing for building teams. I don't really know how he does that, but I mean, even Tony Robbins, every man has anger. There is something in you. It's just a natural feeling that you've got to figure out how to use that in a different feeling, so it doesn't go off on the feminine for when there's messes being made. And when you've been abused, I'm not saying that it's not justified if a woman cheated on you to be mad or upset, but we're at a space just where reality's at politically. You can't yell at that woman. If you yell at her, it's like you're going to receive a lot of backlash. So it's coming into this calming state, always coming into this calm of, yes, there was things that happened. I don't fucking like what that woman did. I don't agree with it. Come back into center. Come back into center. Release the name calling, release what this woman has done, and sometimes that means I can't speak to you. And if she keeps clawing, I cannot speak to you. I need to leave. I need to move. I cannot. And even if she's crying or doing all the things, it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to lead her out of her emotions. If she has done something abused you and any of these things that I said, emotionally, or she's using manipulative tactics, she's done the things, it is not your responsibility as a man when she's done that for you to emotionally support her through something. She will be fine. She will be okay. It is your job and duty at that moment to leave and deal with your anger, so it doesn't escalate to a point that's unhealthy for you, for everyone. Because fundamentally, let's go back to biology, your body has a signaling of something can just go 0 to boom, way quicker than a woman. So if you feel that rising, you've got to immediately exit, immediately go take care of it. And that may mean you just go scream. It may mean that you go on a walk. It may mean that you run, whatever it is, but you cannot be in the realm of a woman when those feelings are starting to come. And if she's clawing, going, it doesn't matter. You got to get out. You just got to get out. And it's, even if she's the things that you've just got to go, I've got to go, I've got to leave, and you've got to do it. She will be okay. And if she does something, it is not your fault. You are not responsible for her. You are responsible for your anger to not be unleashed into a potentially escalated situation, which could ruin and damage your reputation and longevity of life. So we've got to look at these things with the mother and the pattern. Once you look at the pattern, you can see what your pattern is. You become aware of it. And until we have awareness, that's consciousness. From when we become conscious of what our pattern is, of what we've attracted predominantly in women, you then can go into, how do I trace this relationship back to my mother? Was it protect, provide, afraid? How do I begin to heal that with my mother dead or alive? And what you can do is you start to just simply talk to your mother, even though she's not around, talk to the spirit of her. Mom, I know you did the best you could. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I love you for what you offered me. I love you for what you provided me. And you really go into the state of talking to the spirit of what needs to be healed with your mother. And this is a coach or a mentor, but that goes deep, the mother wound with men and the providing, and you will attract women like that. So, and that's when the anger kind of stems, because you're attracting women that are not healed because you haven't healed that wound yet. Okay. And this is really important. So with the anger, this arises a lot. You have to understand being a doer, you do things to provide. That was the old paradigm. Let's go smaller. Okay. The old part of being, and this is how to alchemize experiences, you used to do things, right? She wants this, I'm going to do this. She wants a puppy. She wants this. She's all the things. This is what I want. She wants you to do all these things. And that's what you did to provide. You were like, I'm going to provide this. 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 I'm going to do the thing and do the thing and do the thing and do the thing. But you keep doing, and she's never happy. It's like, it's never working. It seems like, it's like, you're kind of like, when am I going to be done doing? And when can I just sit and can we enjoy each other? It's like this hyperactive state of doing. And that can cause anger over a while, and you can cause disconnection. Anytime you have disconnection as a male over a long period of time, it causes loneliness, causes anger, causes, massive health issues. So the next part is to be providing, from doing the provider to shifting to an essence, shifting into the essence of providing structure and pleasure. What I mean by this is, before you would say, I'm going to do the thing, this is what I want. She would say, this is what I want. And you would do it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want you to do. Whatever it is, like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And you would do it. Now what we're doing is we need you to provide structure. So what we mean by that is that an awakened woman that you actually want to attract, who's not going to lie and cheat and do all these other crazy things that you've been through, you've got to be able to say, I'm going to provide you an experience. So you've got to think of it a little bit more of, you're not going to be told what to do. You're not going to say, she's not going to say, I want you to do this or this. I mean, obviously if you're having a conversation about plans, but before she would say, I want you to take me to dinner. I want you to do this. Now it's more like, okay, can you just automatically know, I want to take her to dinner at this place because I realize she likes this type of lights, or she likes this type of food, or she listens to this type of music when I'm over. Or I saw on her desk, she had a journal. So I want to take her to the store that I saw that had journals. You want to start providing structure like that. It's not like she says, do this, and you're doing it. Like, you notice what's around her, what she likes, and whatever it is. And you provide an experience for you guys to do that together, so you can actually see her open up in her enjoyment. And then you in turn get pleasure watching what you just did to take her somewhere where she got pleasure because of somewhere you brought her. She got excited because of something that you did. She got excited because you opened her in a way, like, she's like, oh my God, I would have never known this journal store was here. This is so exciting. And it looks at all the journals like a little kid. And you're like, you see this like woman open, and it's because you brought her somewhere. And that's way more powerful than anything you could just do, like, than just doing the dishes. Like, that can be powerful too. We're going to get into that. But I'm saying, like, if you can consistently learn how to provide structure, she really likes this type of jewelry, or she really likes this dinner, or even if you can't make, you don't have the money for dinner, it's like a cheap, even if you can just only afford a $10 dinner right now, whatever it is, but she really likes greens, or she really is into chakras, or I don't know, whatever it is, like, do the small thing, like, provide the structure of like, oh, you realize that I liked that and you did it. You provided that structure here for us for this experience. Like, you can see it in my face through her, like, what it does when you do that. Like, and then you as a man, it just excites you, opens you. It just, like, yes. So that's where we're going. You want to move from doer to providing a structure to see her pleasure, because you get pleasure off of her, off of how you see you had her body react because of where you brought her, because of what you did. And a woman that is only asking you to do things, stay far away from, because that's actually not the awakened woman. Because an awakened woman like myself would never ask you to do something. But she will give you the best reaction to when you provide structure. Like, she'll be like, oh, you notice, and you would be asking, well, Colin, like, how do I do that if it's on a date, or like, how, if you see a woman, right, when you first meet her for the first time, instead of going like, where do you want to eat? Don't say that. The better question would be, what do you like to eat? What do you like? What are a few places you like to go? And then you ask her, and she would then, give you a couple of places of, I really like this food, or I really like this. And then you look at, okay, like, looking at her demeanor, she had this type of dress on, or pants. She does this. Is she more, 2 + 2 is 4. We've got to be like very strict. So, okay, she wants a more linear, probably like finer dancer. She's more of a creative. She's a creative. She's going to want a more open space dining. Like, think of those things. Like, that's your job as a man, to start thinking like that instead of, I need to just do the dishes. And that's the shift, you guys. And that's the releasing of anger, because you're like, well, fuck, Colleen, if I do that, I'm not really going to get there. Like, no girl's going to like that. But you're holding on to the anger of the girl who wouldn't appreciate that, because you're right. The girl you've been doing the things for, she wouldn't appreciate all the time that you took to find the perfect place. She would not have appreciated that. No. But the woman who you desire to attract, she would appreciate it. And she'd notice every single thing you did. So begin to become aware of your alpha male and your softer emotional side. This is a big one. Oh my God. So many of you on here are like, Colleen, I don't know when to be like this alpha male. I don't want to be over male, but I don't want to be too sensitive. Like, it's so hard to tell what the drive is. So here we're going to really talk about how to unify that perfect balance of your alpha male and your softer emotional side. So I wrote this in a post a while ago, but you literally, as men, I'm being serious, as an awakened man, you have to literally learn to just not care about women. And I don't mean that in a mean way. Like, I'm just talking about, like, literally stop caring. I don't care if she texts me. I don't care if she calls me. I don't care. Even if I go to the restaurant and she doesn't show up, like, it's going to suck, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm going to be here fully present with you in the moment when I'm here, wherever we're at. And that's it. Until there is something deeper. Don't give your attention and focus to women like that. Just don't do it. It's not going to work in your favor. The biggest thing that is going to get you the woman you want is to learn not to care about women. Don't be mean. It's not like being an a-hole, but I'm saying, like, you see a beautiful woman on the street. Oh my gosh, you look so good. Like, love it. I mean, that's Colleen, but as a man, you look very beautiful. I really like whatever it is. Like, but when you say it, be present with it. Don't just say you look beautiful, because that's what you're supposed to say. You're beautiful. I really want to say, I noticed the color of your hair. I noticed your eyelashes, or I noticed your makeup and eyelashes. I noticed your bracelet. I noticed your rings. Do your rings have a meaning? Your nails. Wow. Be whatever it is, be fully present when you deliver it. It's not, oh, I'm just going to say she's beautiful because it's, I really think she's hot, or, whatever. Like, no. Compose yourself, think about it, go up, be fully present. And then don't care. It was literally for that moment. That was it. The next one is focus your energy on becoming the leader of you. You are the alpha. Stop trying to get the girl. Stop trying to win the girl. Stop trying to get the girl to notice you, get the girl to pay attention to you, get the girl to want to hang out with you, get the girl to text you, feel like you're the cool guy, feel like you're the provider. Just stop. Focus all the energy on you. Become the leader of you. You are the leader of you. I'm the man. I'm the leader. I lead. These are great mantras. I lead, I lead, I lead, I lead. I am the leader of myself. I am the leader of myself. Now, this starts, I have like really, really basic things. You decide what you're going to do. So if you're a leader of yourself, right, and you're learning not to care about women, you're going to wake up today, and it's not going to be that you're doing the things to get the woman, to have the money, to have the career. You are going to wake up and you're going to decide what you are going to want to do because you want to do it. Are you going to work out because you want to look hot, not to get the woman, because you want to look healthy? Are you going to wake up and are you going to, learn how to cook? Are you going to do the meditation? Not to get the woman, but because that's what you need. If you are a man that has naturally a lot of anger, what are you going to decide to do to release that anger? What's something that you're going to do it not to get the woman because you've realized, I got a lot of anger. I'm not very patient with women, and I need to be more patient because women need patience. The divine feminine needs a lot of patience. And I really want that type of a woman. So what do I need to do today so I can release my anger? And it's not to get the woman. It's because I want to release the anger from me. And that is the new baseline. When you got to become the leader for you, the alpha for you, not to get the girl, not to get the woman, for you. So what are you going to wake up and what are you going to do because you want to do it? And then once you have that list as a man, these are the things I'm going to do because I want to do it. You commit to do what you say you're going to do. So if I'm going to release anger, here's the things I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to start art, if I say I'm going to start business, if I say I'm going to do photography, if I'm going to start cooking, what are the things, like whatever it is that I decided I want to do as a man? If I was to die, these are things I'm not okay with not dying. I want to write, whatever, I don't care. Whatever it is you want to do as a man, like it's the thing that you want to do, then commit to it. Decide it, say it, claim it, and this is what I'm going to do to commit to what I said I'm going to do to lead myself. That's the thing. And then show up and follow through and do it. Lead yourself. Become the leader. Women need to be led. It's not providing, we need to be led. As I talked about, providing structure, you need to lead us into the environment. Lead us to where the candles are, if we love candles. Lead us to where the journals are. Lead us to, hey, I don't do yoga, but I look like you did a yoga mat. There's this yoga studio and I saw they had a $20 coupon or whatever. I'm just saying things, but lead her. And you can only do the leading like that if you're leading yourself, if you are becoming the alpha yourself, if you are going, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I commit to me and I show up and follow through on my things. Because if you don't show up and follow through on your things for you, no way you're gonna do that for a woman. No way. Because you aren't doing it for yourself. So how would you do it for a woman? It would be wildly impossible. Wildly impossible. The divine feminine, like myself, we can feel when you can't lead us. We can feel when, from the moment you talk to me as a man, someone of my caliber, as a woman, I can feel the very moment if you lead yourself as an alpha male. And so that way I can trust you and surrender and submit to you for you to lead me. Like I don't have to have my guard up. I can be relaxed around you. And I can be calm and I can be present and I can trust you to lead me to places I can't just take myself. That can only happen when you've decided who you are, what you're going to do, you commit to it and you show up and follow through. The follow through is really big with women. I'll go there for this. So when you think about it, right, if you have sex with a woman, that's a big wound, right? Men have sex and then don't talk to a woman again. That's the big wound for the female. If you think about that, that's follow through. That's following up. So if you don't follow through in your commitments to yourself, a woman can feel you're not going to do that once you enter her body. A woman can feel that. Like, let that sink. That's why if you're focused on how do I get the woman, how do I think, like you're already missing the point of following through for you. And she can feel that. So you're going to attract the woman that lie, that steal, that do all these horrific things that I just said. So show up, follow through, do you, commit to these things, and literally don't care about the woman. Like be so committed to you decide what you're going to do, you commit to it, and you show up and follow through. Like you do the thing. You do the things. And she'll feel it. So that way, if you have this daily cultivation, like one person I love is Jesse Itzler. If you never followed him, he says he needs like 3 or 4 hours a day to himself. He has 4 kids and his wife. And he's like, I don't have those 3 to 4 hours a time. And he's very like alpha too. Like he's very much like, but he's also very integrated in his emotions. He runs all these 100-mile races. He has all these things. Like he needs that time because he's got a lot of energy through him. He's got a lot of energy he's got to burn. And if he doesn't burn that energy, he's not going to be happy. He's not good to be around. And you as men got to realize, like, I've got this anger, I've got this thing inside of me, and it's got to go somewhere, or I'm not going to be good. And until you learn those practices within yourself, you're never going to attract true women that you really desire. And again, like I said, all of this is for you. Like you can't do it with the intention to get the woman. It's not the same. And the woman can feel that you're deceiving her. well, you're deceiving yourself, but it will come off to deception to her. So it's really important that you wake up in the morning. I'm doing life for me. I'm providing for me. As a man, I'm so good to just provide for me. I'm so good to do me. Those are some mantras that you can kind of move through a more holistic way. Okay, your emotional side. You guys may not like this either. Like, what if I don't want to be too emotional, Colleen? Like, I don't want to be out, but this is alpha. Like the ones I shared, like that is your alpha male. Do the thing, do the commitment, and your alpha will naturally come out. It will naturally, because you're going to start making new commitments. So you're going to start to notice little details about things you wouldn't have noticed before, because you're committing to yourself instead of trying to do something to get women, which is unconsciously manipulation. You'll start to notice things. So you just become more of an alpha leader because you're leading yourself. So you'll know when you're at a restaurant what to do, what you like, you just won't be thinking about women. You'll just be being you, and that naturally attracts women because they can feel you're not deceptive. The other thing is your emotional side. So this is also for you, not just with women, yet with men. Your emotional side needs to be like all the time. It can't just be like, I'm just emotional when I'm with women. Like, the men that I, have really respected the most, and again, all over the board, political, non, they're emotional with men and women. Like, I don't really have I've never really dated guys that don't have, deep, meaningful connections with other guys. I think it's really important that your guy friends, you don't just talk about, you do talk about women, but it's not just about women and annoying things. Like, you have conversations about what's really going on in business, what's going on with your kids, what's going on with your family, what's the core here. And, as men, like, be okay with, dude, it's hard right now. I'm a little heartbroken, or this happened. Like, you've got to practice that all the time. If there's, even a guy at a restaurant and you like his watch, or I don't know. I'm just making, but you see something, instead of this alpha competition, like, it doesn't need to be like that. Like, let it be whole. Like, let it just be like, no matter what, I just am aware in life. My heart can be open. I don't have to be angry and bitter and everyone's against me. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, just, life is life. Sometimes there's men that make more money than me, and that's great. Sometimes there's men that doesn't make me better or less than, because I'm focused on my alpha. I'm focused on me. I'm focused on what I decide I'm going to do, committing to it and showing the F up. That's what I'm doing. That's who I am. And your emotional side, if you do that, will kind of ease out more naturally, because it's like, you're not in this, I don't want to be too emotional or too soft or seem weak. Like, no, because you're following through on your commitments. You're committing to life for you. And that's a big thing with guys. Like, you're showing up and doing life for you, not doing it for the woman, not feeling like you need to provide for the woman or do anything else. Like, you're just doing it because it's for you. So, and that emotional side, when you do that, it'll naturally come out. Like, when you're with a woman and you just said, like, your goal that month is you want to, I don't know, work out however many times a week, or I don't know, whatever that it is. And then you do it, like, you're naturally like, oh man, that felt good. Or like, yeah, the gym was pretty epic. I was with so-and-so, or I don't know, we bench pressed this amount. I don't know, like funny things, but it will come out like more naturally, because you're just being you, instead of like trying to be alpha and not too sensitive, or sensitive and not too alpha. Like, you don't really think like, oh, the sun is shining, I can feel the warmth on my skin, but if you're I'm not focused on the sun, I'm focused on how do I manipulate my skin so that I receive the least amount or most amount of sun, to, like, you can't really just feel the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And that's how men have been trained. You're like trying to like, I'm doing this, this, and this so I can get the thing. And then because you're doing so many things to get the thing, you don't actually feel the thing, because like you put so many other things that you're moving so quickly, you can't be present. So your emotional side, like I said, though, but besides that, it should be at all times. So it shouldn't just be like, I'm going to be emotional and sensitive when I'm with women. It should be all the time, like when you see a guy and, he's going through a hard time, or a brother of yours, a good guy friend, just be emotional. Like, hey, I heard your family passed, or you and your girlfriend broke up. Are you okay? Like, not just, oh, you and your girlfriend broke up, F that girl, let's go out and party. Like, hey, what would actually feel good for you right now? Do you want to go to dinner? You want to grab a beer? Do you want to work out? Like, these are my goals I'm working towards. Did you want to tap along with my goals? Like how, like, just be normal. Like, it doesn't need to be like this whole alpha weird thing. Okay. The other thing is that you change, like for your alpha and your softer. You want to change the paradigm of what your men's group are talking about. Like the biggest thing I hear about men is like they either always complain about their wives or they're always like talking about business, or I just hear so many men are just like calling. I feel like when I'm with my guy friends, like it's just like non-conducive. I just have nothing to talk about. Like women are so creative, they're funny. Like, I don't know. I'm not a guy. I just think, if I'm a guy and I do this, what I said, you decide to commit to what you're going to do. You say, this is who I'm going to be. And I'm deciding and I'm committing to it. I'm going to show up and follow through on the things I decided to do. Your conversation is naturally going to change. You're going to become the leader that people want to follow because you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he's different now. Like, what? Because you decided to do life for you. You decided that you're not doing this just to get the woman or just to do whatever. Like, you decided, what are my goals? What are my things? I'm going to do the damn thing. So, and you commit and you show up. And so you naturally change the conversation. So I think that's one. The other two is when you start to feel something, like state it. Like if someone's coming at you and being like, I want this money or I want this, and something just doesn't feel right. You kind of feel like, I don't know, like men have got it. You've got to like tap into feeling. I think that's the biggest thing is men, you're so used to like do. And I can relate to that because that was me for a long time. Like do the thing. Pause. Someone asks you something, pause. Sometimes if it's a big request, how do I feel? Ask yourself that. Men, that's not a question men ask themselves usually. But you guys are intuitive. You guys are intuitive beings. You know what's going on. Tell me, do I like that? How does that feel to me? Like pause before you just do the thing, before you penetrate. How do I feel about that? I'm in a men's group and they're kind of talking about some woman. I don't really feel comfortable. Hey guys, I don't feel comfortable with this conversation. I think I'm going to head out. Hey guys, I feel like this is, inappropriate. If it's with a woman, I feel nervous. You're making me feel nervous. I mean, you don't have to say how I just said it. That was me more as a girl. But I am kind of nervous. I said, oh my God, you guys, I hope you're liking my training. But anyway, I'm blushing. But anyway, I think you guys aren't going to blush at that. But, just, I feel like as men, what do you feel? Like if you're out to dinner, like I feel nervous. Like I feel so excited to be here with you. I feel like you're beautiful. I feel very connected to you. Like, what's the thing? Like, just say the thing, like practice the I feel. And it can start with your guy friends. Even if you're working out, I feel angry. I'm fucking angry. That person fucked me over. I'm really angry. That girl lied to me. I'm really angry. I feel like my mom did this. I'm really angry that I feel like this woman took all my money. I'm really angry that I feel like there's this sexual thing with women that I don't understand. And I really have a big trigger around it. So I get really angry really quick around it. I feel that anger. Like, just what is the feeling? And be okay with I feel. Practice the I feel statement. I've done that with a lot of men in a lot of my programs with one-on-one, and it's really changed our life. Not just, I'm going to try and figure out to do the thing, like what's the actual feeling? I feel excited. That's a different one. Just all of them, like I said, but that's the biggest thing. I feel is what I said. That's the biggest thing to really, unify your alpha and your softer emotional side is you've really got to unify these things. You've really got to be aware of like the alpha comes first. You are the leader. You are the leader. Just as the women are like the goddesses now or the queens, you're the motherfucking leader. You lead. Take me. I want to be taken by you. That can only happen if you decide what you're going to do, you commit to it, and you show up. The art of letting go, releasing control, yet still having the dominant demeanor. So she secretly craves you. Oh, this is a big one, you guys. So I'm just water. Okay. The art of letting go. This is a big one. So as we're going to talk about at the very beginning, like what are the big wounds that have happened that's caused underlying anger in you and like frustration? You're like, oh, so there's a period for men where I feel like there just needs to be a letting go of anger, a release of toxic women. Like there needs to be a period when you're just like, and you let it out, you let the rage out. And that may look like a gym. It may look like, just yelling. It may look in your pillow. It may look like you need to do boxing, like punching, but you've got to figure out how to let go of the anger, like running, like there's got to be an outlet. It's so important, man. There's got to be an outlet for you to release this anger. And you've got to let go of the past stuff. Not every woman is like that, but the woman you were attracting were like that. The woman you're about to attract are not about to be like that. So it's a process. It takes time. And the biggest thing in letting go is you have to learn to trust yourself. That's why the I feeling statement is so important. So like when a woman comes around, usually you're thinking like, okay, how do I do this or get this or that? Like you've been taught to like, how do I provide for her? How do I look to add value? How do I do this? Like it's very like, I don't want to say manipulative because it's not intentionally manipulative, but it comes off now to an awakened woman as very manipulative because I don't need you to provide structure. I don't want you to provide structure. I don't want you to provide value in my life. I literally just want you to be present with me, but you can't be present with me because you've had all these lying, cheating, all these other people in the past where you can't be present because your mind is racing from all these past experiences that you are still here and you don't want to mess this up with this woman you like. So you've got to like learn how to trust yourself. So if a woman walks in and you just go, she's asking some questions doing thing, that's, I just feel no. You know, it's easy. Like my body's saying yes, I feel it, I see it, I definitely feel it, but no, I feel no. And you just got to go with it. Like you've got to, as men, you've got to pause it and go, I feel yes, I feel no. That feels right, that feels not. That's it. It's like very simple. Simplify it. Yeah, it's just very simpling. And it becomes easier to say no. I think once you start to realize it's not about women, you literally go, it's not about the woman. Like I'm just not gonna care about the woman. I'm gonna care about me. I'm gonna put me first. I'm gonna lead myself. I'm gonna focus on my goals. I'm gonna commit to my goals. I'm gonna follow through on life for me. Once you decide that, a lot changes. So it's kind of interesting. If a woman comes into your space, you're just like, yeah, no, like you just don't see her. You just don't even see her in the goals. Like she just doesn't fit. She just doesn't, you just know, like I've decided this is what I'm doing. And decision is very powerful for men. I decide this, the masculine's going to do it. So it's easier when a woman comes in, just be like, I already decided that, you just don't fit in. Like, and it's not a mean way, but it's like, she just X's herself out in the essence of her because she's not put together. She's just not at the level that you would be able to match for what you want, like for where you're going, for what you've committed to what you need to follow through. You can tell like she's not a girl that follows through. Like it just doesn't work. So you've got to learn how to trust yourself. And that's a big part in letting go. I trust who I am. I trust that I'm here for myself, doing my thing. I don't care if a woman is here or not. It's irrelevant because I'm doing me. And that's it. So, control. So this is a big one because, well, the letting go, I want to just say, like, you know, that's the past stuff. You've got to know it's going to be a practice. As a man, you're still going to mess up until you find like the girl. You're going to mess up sometimes and be like, oh, whatever, I want to just hook up with her or do this. And that's okay. Like, don't judge yourself. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Women have it happen too, you know, it's not like, right. It's not like the end of the world because you wanted to hook up with a random girl and you got a little bit off the thing, you know, maybe that's what you needed. Maybe you needed to have that, you know, whatever that it is. But I think it just, don't be so judgmental on yourself. Like have your goals, be committed to you, be committed to leading. And it's just easier to X the other girls. And in that process of you committing to you, you're going to let go of a lot of the toxic because you're going to see like how much you were kind of settling because you were providing for other women before you're providing for yourself. So it always like kind of chicked at your identity. The next thing is your control. So women have this too. I would tell you it's more possessive with women. Men have this thing where you want to control. You want her to be around you. You want to make sure she's not with other men. You want to make sure she's not getting attention from other men. You want to, like, it's just a whole thing, like where jealousy can seep in. You know, I know for me, you know, I'm a beautiful girl. There's things that, you know, my business has a lot of men. I heal a lot of men. I work with a lot of men. You know, it could be a very intimidating as a man to think that you're going to like to come in and like know that I have all these men constantly around me. Businessmen, political men, you know, spiritual men, like it could be very intimidating. So it could be like very scary and a guy could come in and not intentionally, but his anger could seep through as control. Like, Colleen, I don't want you doing that. Colleen, I don't want you doing this. I don't feel like you should go here. I don't think like, and it's not that he's trying, not that you're trying to be controlling, but it comes off that way because you haven't cultivated this inner trust in yourself, this inner trust and this inner knowing of like, I'm going to be so good with or without this woman. And until you get to a place as a man that I'm going to be so good, like I'm just good. I'm so good because I have my commitment on my things. You're always going to control a little bit. And this does not mean, I want to be clear with you. This does not mean if you know that your girl is doing some shit that she should not be doing, like the lying and cheating and the under not, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if you know for her career, it's, you know, there's not that she's dating them, but there are men that for her career, she's going to have to connect with because that's important to her. You have got to learn to be okay with, I trust her, that's for her career. And it's different. And it's sometimes if it's uncomfortable, like, hey, I've noticed that guy's a little bit too close to you. Maybe you don't realize it because it's your business. I don't feel comfortable with that. So what can we do here? Because I don't want to mess up your career flow. But at the same time, I have an alarm bell inside of me going, I don't feel comfortable there. There's something I don't like about this man. Like he's infringing on my space. It's like, you know, and that's you being a protector. You come off as a protector versus the control. So whereas if you have the mother wound of you have to protect your mother, you're going to feel like you always are in this thing of like the whole mess with the girl of, oh my God, you need to this and this and this. And she just never, it's like a never ending of drama with men. This woman, it's not necessarily drama. It's almost like she almost may not even realize, like she's not even aware because she's so after her career, not interested in the guy, but you can feel this man penetrating her, like not physically, but you feel the energy of it. Back to feeling. I feel like she has no idea what's going on, but I feel that these men are all over her and I do not like it. Oh no. And it can't, but, and sometimes that might be her career though. So it can't be, you can't do that. There's got to be a way of, I trust you and I'm just letting you know these are my feelings. So what can we do? Very different than you just can't do that. And that's a big thing for you guys because you have to learn how the art of letting go, but also like I deeply care about you and I want to protect you. And I feel like this is mine. You are mine. And I want them to know that. And that's where the dominant demeanor comes. But do you see, I hope you guys see the difference between like the control of you can't do that. I don't want you doing that versus, hey, I appreciate your hustle. I know you're trying to grow your career. I just don't know if I like this situation. You know, what can we, I felt like there was something off. Back to this feeling. That's why it's very important for men for you to pause and go, I feel. How do I feel? Does that feel good? Like be aware. And you have to learn to trust yourself. If you feel like you feel like there's something off with the man, trust it, say something, and you'll find a middle ground. To an awakened woman, you'll always find a middle ground. To a woman that's not a woman you should be dating, she'll make a big mess out of it. So that's important. I kind of just went through that. The anger, if you're coming off as like, you feel like this man is like, it's not her. This is the thing that I want you to realize. A woman that I'm teaching you here to align today, she would never cheat on you. It's just not in the cards. She's a soul aligned person. She's devoted to you. She is not even thinking that these men are, she's thinking about business, her career. Okay, there's these things and he's going to do this and that. She literally isn't even thinking what you are feeling, that this man is infringing on her or trying to manipulate her with emotion. You can see it from another man. It's a man can see it when another man's doing it. It's like obvious. It's like on his property, like kind of on his asset. Like that woman is my asset. She's my queen. We are here together, unifying our energies, which is what I just taught you. We are doing this. And I feel this man on this. And so you've just got to know, like, don't be angry at her. The anger shouldn't seek out on her because to her innocence, to the woman's innocence, that's a soul aligned person. She's just trying to grow her career and do her soul mission. So bring it up in a protective manner. Like, hey, I just feel this, like, what can we do? Not that I don't want you doing that. And that can be hard, especially if you've had a woman lie and cheat in the past. You've got to really have this anger outlet. You've got to move that anger somewhere. So when you come to her, it's not up in that crazy space. Trust. I mean, the more deeply you trust yourself as a man to commit to who you are, to do the things you say you're going to do and you actually follow through, the more that you trust yourself, the more that you're going to align to a woman that she trusts herself. It's very big to have self-agreement. So like for me, non-negotiable, I think men, you know, it's different, but I think men, non-negotiable, you've got to have an anger outlet. That should be number one. I feel like on every single man on the planet, anger outlet. What is the anger outlet? What is it? What do you do? How do you move it? What is the thing? Must have it. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable every day. Every day. every day, anger outlet for men. Every day. That has to be an agreement that you somehow figure it out. That energy and that physical penetration that you can feel has got to have an outlet every day for you to go somewhere. If it's not, it will really mess you up. It will really mess you up. That's got to be a self-agreement. You know, what are you working towards every day? What are your goals? What is your thing you've got to do? That's got to be one. Spiritual, mental. I mean, I can go on, but you've got to have self-agreements. I mean, mine, it's different than mine, but mine's, I mean, I've got non-negotiable journaling. I've got my walking. I've got my music. I've got my yoga. I turn my phone off at night. I have my tea. Like there's certain things, you know, it's in my water, like there's non-negotiables, and you've got to have those self-agreements that no matter what, even if the sky is falling, that's a non-negotiable. And if you don't have those, then your controlling energy is going to seek out, because you don't have a control in your own life and on your own agenda. So you're now that control is seeking out onto her, and she's going to feel that, and it's not going to feel good, and it's going to get all crazy. We'll get into this too, but you know, to be the dominant demeanor, you want to have agreements in a relationship. And the reason I'm sharing you guys with the art of letting go and the control is because at the end of the day, what you want a woman to do is you want her to be like dominating to you, but you want her to be submissive. Like you want the woman that's like, oh, I'm going to come out and do the thing and dominate and like have the thing. And you also want the woman at times is going to be submissive as fuck. Like, I trust you, take me where I cannot be taken. You want both. You want both. And this is how to do it. This is the way to do it, because if you don't do it in this way, you're going to keep attracting low quality women, you know, the woman who will never quite do it. But if you really take what I'm sharing you here, like with what I'm sharing here, you take this really understanding the processes, the letting go, the trust, the control, the wanting to control into a protective demeanor, you're going to get that woman that's like, every time you tell me, you lead me if you want me submissive or dominant, and she'll naturally know, because you are learning the providing the structure, like you're learning everything I'm teaching you here. So she naturally is just going to submit. Okay. This is another thing that I think it's really important, the art of letting go and still having the dominant demeanor. You've got to be okay with like, okay, she's a career woman. She's doing her things. I'm going to be here. You gotta have clear intention. So when you're with a woman, like I said, and you notice her and you want to take her to dinner, you want to, you know, hang out with her, take her to coffee, and you want to be like clear, hey, this is my intention with you. Very present, again, looking her in her eye. My intention with you is to get to know you. My intention is to possibly date you. I'm looking for a serious relationship. So I just want to understand, what is it you're looking for, to close any gray area of what could be going on in your mind, so we avoid any confusion. Super present, super direct there. A woman that you're looking for, she's going to know exactly it, and she's going to repeat it right back to you. Woman who's unclear is going to run from that question. And you want to run because you want to be committed to yourself and devoted to yourself, and you're looking for the one, not some low grade woman. Dominant demeanor. So this is like where I said, where you really start to get to this area of like, oh, this is the woman where like, as a man, you're like, dude, my girlfriend is fucking awesome. Like, she lets me go on guys' nights. And I don't even really want to go on the guys' nights anymore. You're like, it's like crazy. Like, she's like, please go on a guy. She wants to go take a bath. And I'm like, I want to be included in the bath. This is where like you get the power. This is like where you are like, oh my God, I can't get enough of this woman. You know, like how did I get so lucky? This is like where this becomes this way. So the dominant demeanor is like when you really start paying attention to the details. So this is where the little things matter. Does she like coffee? Does she like tea? Does she not even have to ask you when you bring it to her? What does she like for breakfast? Is that always in the fridge? If you go to the grocery store, is that it? Do you notice the restaurant vibe she likes? Then you find a new restaurant. The journal, like I said, if she's journaling, if she, like I have these little things all over my house. Don't let anyone dull your sparkles. This one, my friend got me this one actually. Or I love unicorns, you guys, and they're rose gold things, or like tea, like what is she like, and how, you know, how do you like upgrade it, basically, like whatever she's doing, you notice it, and you don't even say, it's not like you're asking, you're not going and you're not saying, what do you like to do? What is your hobbies? No. That's not what we're doing. You're noticing, you're observing. She has beads on her arms. She really likes her crystal rings. She really likes her nail color. you're noticing, she likes this, whatever that it is, and you then just do the thing. You don't say, what type of music do you like? Oh, we should go there. What did this? No. You notice. You become dominant in noticing her, fully aware of her. And then you add the value in that thing. Yeah, you do the thing in that way. That's how you become the dominant. That's how you get her like, who is this man? Like, what? He noticed my tea and he got me tea leaves, or he got me like a new teacup. Like, what? He noticed I like the rose gold and he got me a, like these, what, like, that's how you really, that's how you start to win her over. Like, he didn't even ask me that. And he noticed, like, that's the point of manhood. That's the point of I'm the leader. That's the point of like, yeah. And when you do that, the things a woman will do, let me tell you, when you have that type of behavior that you start to notice what's around her that is so seemingly obvious in her world, like just like the sky is blue in my life, my journals, they're here, like my even have a unicorn journal, or my writing, like oh my God, if someone knows, because I love writing, they got me new pens or like colored pens or something, I would be blown away. Or like unicorn pens, blown away. Oh my God. If someone got me like tickets to a museum that was like a virtual reality of like outer space without even asking me, blown away. Blown away. It's not just like the flowers. It's not just provide the flowers, provide the money, provide the thing. It's a full how can I provide a full sensational experience to this woman? What is her thing? It's like, if she likes yoga, I'm not going to go to yoga with her, but could I get her yoga retreat? I like things like that. I don't know. How do I provide the experience for her? And I get to, in that experience, observe her, because when you observe her, you start to see like her body move in a different way. She will start to come onto in different ways. She'll start to fall into your chest differently. She'll start to initiate sex differently. I mean, when women cheat because they don't feel seen. Big wound for men. Men cheat because they don't feel, because they feel seen. If you make this woman like do things like this and you start to make a woman really feel seen, this is an awakened woman, not an unaware woman who doesn't even know what the fuck she wants or does or any of the things. When you really start to do this, the things that woman will, the places you will go, the ways that woman will add value in your life. I mean, your financial game is about to go up. You thought that you were devoted to yourself before, like the leader. Woo! The new leader you're about to like impact because of the way that she's just doing these things, because you're deeply seeing her. Man, like the coffee is never not there. The honey is always there if she likes honey with her coffee or tea. The almond milk never runs out. I don't know, the smoothies, whatever it is, like it's always there. You're always thinking 5 steps ahead of what she would actually need. And then what a woman will do for a man like that. You will never, ever have a desire that's not met. I mean, sexually, you will literally never feel unsatisfied. Your woman will do whatever, like she will surprise you to the depths that you don't even know. But that's really important. You've got to become dominant in that. And that can only happen when you start to really lead yourself, when you start to be committed to who you are, because and commit to it and decide who you are, commit to it and follow through. Because if you aren't doing that, you can't follow through on her. It'll be inconsistent and she'll feel it. And it would basically feel like, even though that's not what's happening, it would feel like basically you're starting sex and just not finishing. Like that's what it feels like to a man that doesn't follow through on himself. It will feel like that to a woman. So as I said before, I really believe with the awakened woman, feed her. I mean, dinner and vibe is important. I hate to break it to you, men, but I really believe to the woman that's your woman, always take her to dinner. Always be the date. I mean, unless it's your birthday or something. I mean, she's planning it, but I think for majority of date nights, you plan the date, you get the vibe, you pay for it. You know, it sucks to hear that, but it just is. You guys, you want the bedroom, you want the other things. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. You've got to pay attention to those details and the vibes. And does she like this type of food? Does she like, just notice it. And, you know, ask your other guy friends, talk about that. Hey, where do you take your girlfriend out to eat? Like, I'm just curious. What are some other dinner places maybe you don't know? Like, get curious on that. Because if you want the other part, the girl that's gonna freak, be there, loyal, committed. I mean, you're not even gonna have to wonder. She's out doing her career thing, and you know damn well when she's back, she's about to be like, yes, I'm all over you because you just filled me up for my dinner or my, you know, my career. And I just slayed because you made it so easy and whatever. You'll be set. You'll be so good. Like, you'll be so good. Yeah, you'll be just good. You'll be that's why it's important though. Like the vibe, the food, the things, like talk about that. Okay. Details I kind of talk about this, like knowing what she needs it for, but these are important. Like those, if you want to get the woman, those are the things. You want to sustainably get the woman. And those things can't just happen, oh, for the first week. It needs to be time and time and time and time again. And they will evolve. But like the little things matter. Like for me, I always make the bed. I love making the bed. I'll never not make the bed. That's like my thing. I'll always do that. I would kind of be annoyed actually if the guy did it for me, but it would be nice if he did, you know, but I still like it. But like, that's a little thing. If he did that one time, I would be like, wow, that was really sweet. Or, you know, any guy who brings me coffee or tea in bed. I mean, I'm a big dinner girl, like, you know, or want, like, I'm a big, like, you know, I'm a big experience person. If you give me an experience that's like, wow, this guy really took the time to get to know me and provided something special, provided something special. It wasn't a thing. It's not a tangible thing. You're not providing me money, you're not providing me just dinner. You're providing me an experience. You're providing me a sensation in my body that you are getting by bringing me somewhere and you're seeing me open. That is not an equation. That is not 1 + 1 means I'm going to get sex. It means I'm literally here present with this woman because I'm allured by her. I want to be here present. It's not because I just want to fuck her, because I don't care about women. I'm so good on my own. I don't need a woman. I don't need that. It's not a requirement. I'm here because I want to be here because I'm so good with or without her. And you've got to be okay with that over a period of time. And obviously there'll be, you know, bumps in a relationship, but you've got to, you know, be aware of that. And the details part and that. And if you do that, the woman you're going to have in your life is incredible. Okay. So embodying the art of presence. So cultivating presence is the work of your life. Men, if you're here, like I want to get real close to you. If you're here, this is the work of your life. If you want the woman of your dreams, cultivate your presence. You've got to understand that as a man, releasing the anger is number one and having all the things aside. But if you don't have presence, you are not going to attract the awakened woman. If you're half there, I don't really want to be there. I'm kind of here for sex. I'm kind of here for whatever. You've got to be so committed, men, to taking care of you. Like it is better to say, hey, you know, babe, I really wanted to hang out tonight, but I'm not present. Like, to be honest, I'm really just had a long day. If you want to just lay in bed and chill, but honestly, I'm not present. Like my mind is not present. I cannot give you full attention. Be honest. And it's almost better not to be with a woman. If you cannot be fully present, just don't be there. And sometimes that means like, hey babe, when it's after work, I need 2 hours to decompress. I need an hour, whatever that it is. Or, you know, it's a long day or it was a long, whatever. I do not have attention to give you right now. Like I'm at my bandwidth. I need to go work out. I need to go do my running. I need my hours to my day. Like I cannot give you the presence right now. Be honest, but your work of your life, men, is presence. This is why your non-negotiables of releasing the anger, of doing the thing is so important, because this presence is what will change your life. Presence is what will make you successful versus non-successful. Presence is what will allow you to control the anger versus not control the anger. Presence is what will allow you to go, pause. That woman's gorgeous and something doesn't feel right. The presence will change you. A man's deepest gift in this world is to be fully present with a woman or female or feminine. That is a man's work. And you cannot be fully present if you're not doing the work of you. If you're not deciding who you want to be, you're committing to it and following through. Can't do it. So this means meditation. It might be like, you have a meditation group or you're doing a meditation. It might mean the gym, might mean guy time, you time, cooking, hobbies, any of those things. Your time of presence cannot be always with her. Like she cannot be like, you always need to be with me. Like, you have to have you time alone by yourself that cultivates your presence, that allows you to be where you are with your feet on the ground. You've got to have that. The next one is like clear boundaries of you. You've got to have like really, really clear boundaries. Like as a man, no, I will not accept this. Yes. Like I will. The same as you would want a woman to be like, if she's a career woman like myself and there's other men, you want me to be super clear. Like I know damn well there's no man texting like this or no man acting like this or whatever. You've got to be just as clear. I don't allow this type of behavior with women around me. You got to be clear. Like if a woman's asking for money or she's being shady or whatever, no. And and this is the part where you've got to be really clear. Like even if your biology is telling you something different, like it's, whoa, there's something going there, but I don't feel it. If you're not present, you'll fall for biology every time. If you're not cellularly working on your presence, you're not cellularly working on you'll fall every time. Every time. So that's why embodying, it makes me teary. You guys, for you to heal, this presence is going to save you. Being present with yourself, shutting down, saying, no, I'm not available right now. I love you, honey. I love you, human. I love you, woman. If you want me to be this guy, right now is a no. I need my time. Right now is a space. And this goes back to, what is your identity? My identity is I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man that follows through. I'm a man that's committed to myself. I'm a man that I'm so good with or without the woman. I'm so good being me. I'm good. This is my identity. I aligned that. When I'm put in the environment, I'm not always perfect. It seems like there's a lot of, good looking women here, but they're not really aligned to their goals. They're more partying. So I'm going to leave. You guys, my guys group, enjoy. I don't want to be in that environment. Hey guys, I feel like you're talking a little bit inappropriately about women. I don't really want to talk about that because my life is so good with or without women. So let's talk about, our goals. Or, hey, I heard you just broke up with your girlfriend. Do you want to, go to the gym with me? Do you want to do this anger thing, this meditation thing, the gym, whatever it is? Like, you've got to be clear, real clear as a man. This is who I'm aligning to be. I'm the man that answers my phone when women call me at 2 a.m. I'm the man who I was sleeping because my sleep was more important than your 2 a.m. drunk call. You have to have non-negotiables for you without anyone else, without guilt. Like non-negotiable for me. Like I don't really date. I'm not very shy about that. I just don't do it unless I feel it. Like I know that I'm supposed to go on a date with you. I won't do it. It doesn't matter how many things you tell. It doesn't matter who you'll fly me, where you'll do what. It just doesn't matter. It's a non-negotiable for me. If I do not know the 100% I'm meant to experience something with you, I won't do it. I won't even text you back. As a man, you've got to start cultivating that. And that goes back to, I feel it's very uncomfortable for you because men have been taught like, do this thing and do, like up, go. Like that's what you've been taught. You've got to like learn how to like slow it down. How do we slow it down? How do I slow down and go, what do I feel? It's not a question men ask, like, what's the feeling here? What's the intuition here? Like what's really going on here? That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. So what are your non-negotiables as a man? I'm not available for women who aren't going to appreciate that I took the time to see where I took them to dinner because they're just wanting a $200 dinner. Like most women, honestly, even me, like I don't really care about the amount of dinner, like what the dollar amount is. I care to know that you really took the time to get to know me. And like you took me, even if it's like a little backdoor diner, and that's what I liked. And then sometimes I do like those little backdoor diners, but it was like, even if it's like a drive-in movie, that's what I like. Like I would much rather, personally me, a drive-in movie any day over a movie theater, you know? And I think you've got to read into that, you know? So someone won't be like, oh, I don't want to be in the back of a car with someone, or that's a little awkward. You know, it just, you've got to read the woman. You've got to become a good reader of, these are my goals and my alignment, and this is what I like, and this is how I want to provide structure. And I feel like when I look at the woman and when I ask in her, I see her. You've got to become like a very observant to the, what is she wearing, what is she doing, what is she looking, you know, what does she normally talk about, like what are those things? And from that you've got to become aware, like how do I provide something for her to bloom in her hobbies and herness. And you've got to be non-negotiable. Other women kind of swooping in and be like, I want to do this, or I want to hang out with you. No, I don't feel it. You don't need to say that to them. Just, no, I'm busy. You know, I'm getting up and I'm following through on myself. I'm going to the gym. I'm getting up and I'm following through on myself to have my guide time. I'm getting up and doing my, you know, my releasing of anger, whatever the thing is. Non-negotiables without guilt. Okay, so for once you're in a relationship, those are kind of like all the back end of things. But once you're in a relationship, you have to have really clear agreements. So, you know, this is all before, okay, so let's talk about that. So everything up until this point is literally just to get in, just to get in. This is all the back end work that you've got to do as a man to align to a woman that you really want. And then you're right. You're going to say, Colleen, it's not that easy. It's so much work. It is. It's not fucking easy. I'm not going to pretend that it's not like, it's not painful. It's not, there's not going to be anger. It's not, there's not going to be irritating things that come up. There are. And women, divine women like myself, we do the same amount of work because we're aligning to men like you. And if we want to receive people like you want to penetrate women like us, this is the work. I'm giving you the key. I'm giving you the work. This is what you got to do. Buy a journal, buy the things, do the things, show up, work on the presence, be you for you, get your mind, stop worrying about women, worry about yourself. Lead yourself. So once that happens, a woman, you will never have to ask her to really be your girlfriend. She will just, the divine feminine will always be around. She'll keep returning to you and be like, I really like that you do this. I really enjoyed that. When you come to her, like you can just tell she, I don't know, it's like the way she smiles. It's like the way she smiles. It's the way, like, you'll just see, like, she will return to you. She'll be like, are we going to dinner again? Are you going to like surprise us again? Like, she'll do these things. Like, she'll soften. You'll see this woman really soften in front of you. This kind of seemingly overachieving high woman. You'll see her be like, when are we going to hang out? When are you coming over? Like, what's going on? Like, she'll kind of naturally do the work for you because you've allowed that safety net for her. Because you said, I want to close the gray area. My intention is very clear with you. This is what I want. What do you want in life? Is it a line? We keeps going, okay, I want to be clear. This is where we're going. Closing the gray area. Do you agree this is what we're doing? What's your perception of what's happening in the relationship right now? And once you have that, once you're in, I would say you can tend to like, she'll keep coming back. She'll be like, I had so much fun. I really thought, and that's another thing, guys, after you do hang out, follow through. Before we even go home, before we get into this part, whenever you hang out with a girl, if you have clear boundaries, do all the things, you're on the date, you're doing the things, follow through. Clearly communicate. I want you to know I had so much fun with you tonight. I laughed, whatever that you like, I had so much fun. I want you to follow through. The follow through is big, you guys. If you are not following through on the commitments to yourself, that means you will not follow through on the commitments with her, which basically is like sexually, you're not following through. Like you're kind of showing up and then you're leaving. That's what it feels like. So follow through. If you go on a date and you had an absolute blast, follow through. I had such a blast. Here are the highlights of the night. A voice note, a phone call, follow through, follow through, follow through, follow through, follow through, follow through. Very important. Very important. And follow through, because you'll know right then. And every time follow through, every time. Consistently follow through. Okay, so once you're in a relationship, you have agreements. So does that mean you go on date night, like, twice a month? Does it mean when's your guy time? Very clear. These are my guy time. These are your girl times. Like, have very clear agreements. Like, the clearer, the better. Hey, I know you're career driven. There's a lot of men, or there's a lot of women in your field because of your career. What are agreements? Can we drive in the car with another person? Should we not? Can we go to lunches? Can we not? Like, what? Clear agreements. If we're out at a group setting, is there a time limit? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm not a person, but this is where that controlling versus, like, protective comes in. That very sexy, like, protective versus controlling. I, as a man, don't want to become controlling. So and I don't want you to become jealous or there to be any insecurities that we don't know about. So let's create the agreement. So we're both here to thrive. Also, you want to have a conflict resolution. So you really want to be clear. We are going to have disagreements. We're two people unifying. When that happens, how do we want to settle it? How do we make it funny? How do we make it light? Like, hey, like I said, feel like I know you don't realize that guy. I feel very uncomfortable. So what do we do here? Like, make it, protective, not you can't talk to that guy, or this guy's doing that. Very different energy. So, as a guy, come in again, it's providing the structure. Now we're here, and now we're dating. I got you. Thank you for allowing me to have you. Thank you. It's a big one. Thank you for choosing that as a guy. Like, just, you always want to make her feel like, you were chosen. And what this woman will do for you is just incredible. Okay, so come in. Okay, so now that we're doing, what are the agreements? Like I said, I listed a bunch of things. And then conflict resolution. So if we fight, we're probably going to fight about some things or have a disagreement. How do we want to handle that? If you feel like, if there's jealousy, like, why do we fight? Jealousy, money. It's another big one. Jealousy, money. I mean, cleanliness, like cleaning, food, like whatever the things are. Like, when these are the topics of life. Going out, if someone's late to a date, or someone, how do we want to, you want to have a list of, if these things happen, how do we want to handle it? And I want to be prepared. So that way, if this happens, we don't go in different directions if we don't know what's going on. But conflict resolution. Take the love language test. Make sure you guys know it. Take the love language test. I think it's really important. Know your love language. I think it's massively important. I've dated a lot of guys that theirs is physical touch. Mine's like words of affirmation. I think mine's words of affirmation, and it's experiences, whatever that is. I don't even know what it is, but experiences is my biggest one. Like, give me an experience. That's definitely, I think that's most women, but what are they all? I don't remember them. Spending quality times. There we go. Okay. Spending quality time is my biggest one. And then, like, you got to know those. Like, it's important because it's important, especially if you're dating a woman and physical touch is your biggest one. It's important that when you're wearing the movies, she's touching you or doing things like that's important. It's important. So, yeah, get to know, like, how do you like to know? And obviously I just told you secrets. Like, I told you some secrets there of like how to know with the feminine, but once you have your person, what are your little rituals together? Like, we aren't going to have a morning meditation every day because you need to take care of your own stuff and she needs to take care of her own stuff. But do we, twice a week have our morning rituals together? Do you always bring her the coffee? Does she always start the shower? I don't know, like, just small things. Like, do you guys get in the shower together? I don't know, like, just, it's important. It's important to have those kind of things to notice with each other. I think journaling together is really important. I think having like at least 2 days out of the week where you guys actually sit and you're working on your goals, you're journaling together, you're like working on you have a time, at least one time every week. You have one time every week where you at least sit down together and you're working through your journaling things. Like, you're working through like, hey, this week, this is what went really well for me. I kind of was a little bit like taken back by this, like, so it's not like throughout the whole week you're there, but you can say, one time per week, this was things I felt really well, or this week, I would have like, I feel like we could have had a little bit more sex, or I wanted more sex, or like just have a time every week where you definitely sit down together and you like really work on you guys. Like you really are like, this went really well. Like this is, you know, our, hey, this next month's gonna be really crazy with me with work, with whatever. I'm launching a book or I'm launching, you know, whatever. I just got a new promotion. So maybe my presence isn't gonna be full on. So what is the days that we need to create that I know I need to be fully present so I can be prepared, where the other days I'm like, okay, doing other stuff, but those days I'm prepared. I know I've got to be present. Like, you know, I think it's important. Or like, what are your goals? Like, how much do you want to save? Do you want to have houses together? Like, I don't know, just get very specific. Date nights are a must. I think, you know, how many date nights do you have them once a week? Do you have them twice a month? Like non-negotiable. When's your date night? What are you doing on your date nights? Are you having date days? Like, are you going golfing? But it's important. And I do think as men, it's important you pay. I think no matter what, even if you have joint accounts or whatever, you pay. It's just a thing. It's a thing for sure. So, you each have specified friend times. This is important. You cannot get mad if she wants to hang out with her girls, and she cannot get mad with you want to go with the guys. Like you need to have specified friend time for both of you, like specified. Both of you have specified friend time, and it's okay. It's part of the thing. Like, hey, once a month, we each have our time with our people or whatever it is, or twice a month, you know, that is a non-negotiable. Like we need to be outside of just us. For a sustainable relationship, you cannot just have you guys. It has to be outside of you guys. So that's very important. The next is like, I think as a man, I really agree. I really think this is not something you tell her, but this should be a practice that you do. It's very important you do this, is that you have to know how to open her. So you got to learn, you know, you've got to watch her. You know, when I take her here, does she open? Does she close? What does she talk about a lot? You've got to show you're constantly like paying attention to kind of her evolution, like her small movements or moments. Because that'll open her. Like you've got to be really committed as a man to the presence of opening her, and I'm unattached. If she's here, she's here. If she's not, she's not. And it's when you're in a relationship, it's not as easy to do that, you know, but I'm just saying, like, you're still focused on you, but you one of your things as a man, when you're in a relationship, your devotion becomes to open her. Does she like the fireplace? Does she like candles? Does she like this type of food? Like you've got to know it before she knows it. You got to be in the constancy of surprising her. So she can be opened, and she opens to you and softens and cements and all the things, which goes with details, like the same, like it's just, and with sex, I want to say with you guys with this, it's really important once you get here with sexual things, like you get pleasure off her pleasure. And the more that you pay attention to details for her and you focus on like ways to open her, you will see her body move when you're not even touching her. You will see her body open. You will like watch this magical little woman of a creature. Oh, you'll just see like sexual things like you never really knew. Like you'll just, yeah, you'll see it. I mean, she's just, you'll just see all the things like, and I think that's really important. The details you do, you can even see, I'm like going, like, you can even see me when I'm talking about this, you see my face, my body movement. One would be an example for you, like what happens when you do that behind closed doors, and that like makes the sex just, she'll do it all. She really will when you do this. So trips together, you definitely need to like, okay, 1 trip a year, 2 trips a year, once a month, like whatever the trip is, you need to like be able to definitely know we're doing trips together. And then your career goals, like separate together. You still, even if you guys have separate careers, you still need to like know, like, hey, these are my goals. And you guys are like, okay, how can I support you in that goal? You know, what can I do? And that could be, you know, in a range of different things, but you need to know. It needs to be a topic that you guys come on your journaling dates or your weekly time together. This one, knowing when to listen, when to grab her and F her open. Okay, so if a woman that comes home and she's like emotionally dumping, like she had a really big day, there's a lot going on, and she's like emotionally just like dumping everywhere on you, you definitely want to not F her open then. It's not the time to grab her. Like if you can tell it was a really long day at work and, you know, her career, there's something going on, she just needs a space, just listen. There's nothing to fix, just listen. It's not the time to like grab her and whatever, like that's a presence. That's just a presence. Just listen. Okay. Now if she's having an attitude, when women, we have like little attitude spurns and we're like Mrs. Grumpy is out today, or you didn't do the dishes, whatever that is, that's the time to like make it sexy, make it hot. I mean, not obviously if she's not really mad about the dishes, you know what I'm saying? If she's mad because she's emotional dumping, it's coming out something else, that's not the time. But she's like, oh, the dishes. And you're like, tell me about it. And you like grab her, do something funny. Like, okay, I'll get the dishes. Just make it like, you're really mad about the dishes now. Like, I don't know, make it funny. Like when women get little attitudes like that, or like if women are like, about this friend, Becky, just make it playful. Like that's the moment. But if she's like really, you can tell like in an emotional dump, don't do it. And it's not, you can't just go up to her when she's like, I'm angry and like sideswipe her. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like, do something sexy, do something funny, like come up and bend her over and be like, the dishes, I don't know, just something funny. Like an awakened woman will be like, oh, you're right, I don't even know why I'm mad about that. Like if you're doing all the things I'm telling you to do with consistency, I mean, the dishes wouldn't even come up, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a way. If she's having like a little attitude about like, something that happened in her day, or the bank called, or I don't know, whatever problems that could go wrong, like just, make it hot. Like, okay, I can fix that for you. Like, that's the way to provide. Like, that's the way to, do it. If it's obviously like a really like, wow, I'm really upset, like my mom died, obviously that's not the time. It's not the space or time. But if it's like, if it's something like small like that, that would be the time to like make it sexual. And then when she's angry too, if she's like super angry, I mean, not always, obviously, if she's like scolding you because it was like a big deal on something, but if it's like, like the dishes, like I said, are like, I don't know, just angry about a friend, something small, like attitude, anger, but it's not like rage, make it sexy, or you can always say like, what if I like, I'm like turned on by your anger. What if I, like, I don't know, like, tell me how this, or like, make it sexy, like, make her anger sexy. Like, tell me how that is. You look so hot when you do that. Like, and then like grab her ass or something, or like, I don't know, like turn it into the movement of sexuality, to get her out of the mental state of whatever emotion she's in, because there's just a lot flowing through her. And so with that, I'm super excited. I hope this added like so much value to you guys, and like it makes so much sense. Like I really wanted to devote this time and space to men to like understand the emotionality of all of it, so you guys can rise, because I know all of you see me and a lot of you are like, Colleen, how do we find a woman like you? And you see my clients and you're like, how do we get women like them? And this is really the way of what I know how to do. And so I feel like this isn't just something that you can do, in a day. Just focus on 1% being better. It takes time. Takes a presence, it takes time, it takes commitment. Like you've really got to be committed to being the guy that's not gonna go get the wounded woman anymore. You've got to be committed to presence, to you, to your goals, and like being the best version of you. And if you can't commit to that, then you're just not ready. You're not going to have it. But these are the things I know, if you do it without a shadow of a doubt, you will get the woman. She will literally return to you. You won't even have to ask her to commit. You'll never have to worry about jealousy. I mean, I just didn't worry, but you'll never have to worry about like her leaving, because she's just going to be like, she will always come to you. She will always be there. She will always return to you. Even when she's out with her girlfriends, she's going to be like texting you photos, or like, she's going to be like, God, I can't wait to return to him. And then when she comes, it's going to make this amazing experience. Or even when she's angry, like, you didn't do the dishes, like she'll make it funny, or like, you guys, it just won't be the same. Or like, even when you sit down and do your weekly things together, once you have her, or you say, I really want to close the gray area. I'm here on this dinner date because I don't want you to feel like there's any ill intention. I'm here to get to know you. You can say, I don't plan on sleeping with you. Like, you can let me know when, like, you let me know how you work in that area. That is not that is not my intention on this date. I want to close the gray area though. Like, what are you looking for? Like, are you trying to have an open dynamic? Are you trying to get to know me? Are you trying to date? Are you trying to get married? Like, just be honest, I want to close the gray area so there's no confusion in your field about why I am here with you at this dinner. Clear, honest, like, whoa, that's going to take a woman back. Like, he was really serious. He really wanted to know. He's not just here to fuck around. A man who can be straight up with you like that, and then not just straight up, but you follow through after the dinner date, after whatever. Wow, it's such a good time. I can't wait to see you again. Let me know your schedule. That's important. Not just do it and you don't follow through. then you basically just, you didn't do the act, but it's like you had sex and just didn't call her. So you've got to say the things like that and, you know, follow through and then take care of yourself. And when you do things like that, you will attract the woman. So with that, the follow-up is we have the Expanded Liberation Society, which is my monthly society. So we meet 2 times a month and we have a monthly magazine that comes out with all of my updated content, like the most secret content of everything that's going on. I don't share it anywhere on my public platforms, but it's like my most potent. We have these 2 calls every month that we talk about different topics. It goes with the 12 principles. You can pay the full year in advance. So it's $88 a month when you do that. And let me just get my phone because I don't even know how much that is. I should know, you guys. 88 times 12. So that's $1,056 if you want to pay in full, or you can pay $111 per month, like monthly, to be part of the society. And it's a 12-year commitment. 12-month commitment, not 12 years. It's always us. But it is my deepest heart, my deepest dharma. If you like this conversation, you want to be in a society of people who are like, I'm lifting the planet, I'm expanding, I'm liberating. You're ready to be received by real women. You as a man are ready to be like, I'm doing the damn thing. Like I'm here and we're doing it. This is the society for you. So just go on my website and there's details for that. And then reach out to me on I'm Colleen Gallagher, my Instagram. You can follow me there, or my Facebook, the Colleen Gallagher, for us to be present there. My website, and then reach out and let me know how this went for you. Like I love doing this. I had so much fun like sharing this with you guys, and I hope you seen me talk about it. You can even see me go into a daydream of like reminiscing of past stories, you know, like what it does to the feminine. And that's what you deeply want. That's the healthy dynamic. That's a healthy relationship. That's what will get you there. So reach out, let me know with questions. Men, I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you rise. I think the biggest follow throughs that I get is the work of your lifetime, men, this lifetime around, is your presence, is to be devoted to you more than a woman, because that will naturally attract her, and to follow through. To be, commit, follow through. So yes, I hope this served you. I'm so grateful. I hope this served you. I'm so grateful that we got to spend this time together. And yeah, just let me know what came up, because you guys, this is the work of our life, the unification, the masculine, feminine, and all of our times to rise. So I love you so much.